Another day in the life of ECK20.
Yeah, what's up? You want to go? What's up, dear? You what's up? Yeah.
Rob's just getting shat on by an Audi. That's embarrassing.
I wasn't in the right gear.
So yeah, we've just been up to the local scrapyard for a couple of electrical connections, and we've got about 10 different door pins because we didn't know what one was going to fit. So
why is that?
Because Rob lost one of them. I actually left it in the car when we took it to the body shop, so we think it's somewhere on the road between the workshop and the body shop. But anyway, we got a new one and it was not very much. So yeah, we will catch up with you when we are back at the workshop, I suppose. You got anything else to say, Rob?
I hit my head on a bonnet and it really hurts.
And it was really funny. So we've come to see Mark and Lawrence again. Mark wanted some EP3 wheels and I've got some really shit ones which I said he can have. And we popped to the breakers yard as well for a couple of plugs for the fuel pump and fan switch and whatever else, which was a bit of fun down there. So yeah, I'm just going to see what they're getting up to. Hello, you. You're fucking big, aren't you? Fucking hell, I wouldn't want to mess with him. Her? I wouldn't want to mess with you. How you doing?
Good, yeah.
Not too bad.
There's actual glue on. Can we turn it upside down?
Be careful you don't spill oil everywhere like Rob does. What are you doing then?
Take the sump off.
You got a new one?
No. Okay.
Oh, water.
What things? Daddy. No, Lola. Don't be
Oh,
drinking
oil.
that.
Oil.
Oil.
Oh shit. It's got to be you.
Have you got all of it? Have you got all of the bolts out?
Yeah.
If you leave one in, it doesn't come off. We found that out.
Need a lever point.
Bye, Lola.
Thank you. Yeah. Cheers.
Bye. Bye then.
We said we were going to get up early today so we can get quite a lot done, which we did actually. I was up about 8:15, something like that. We've been to Billy Bridge, we've been to see Mark. It's now about 3 o'clock and we haven't actually done anything on the EF yet, so yeah, quite a lot of pissing about today. Anyway, we're here now, so we're going to get started. We'll keep you updated with what we get on, what we get done, I suppose. We've got some new switches for some of the wiring for the fan switch and whatever else. We've also got to sort this headlight wiring out. Have a go with the interior wiring still. We've got some new plugs for that. I think it's about time we got the dash in, to be fair, and started plugging stuff into it. We've got to try and find a way to de-pin these plugs as well, because we don't actually have like a tool for it or anything, and the thinnest screwdriver doesn't go in, so we've got to try and de-pin a couple of them. That should be interesting, I suppose. I've got the pump wired up finally, so it's got a new connector on there for the wheelbarrow, piped up nicely, earth, and not the neatest job in the world, but it's holding together nicely. So yeah, just going to get that back in the tank now. Rob's having a bit of a tidy up and he's huffing and puffing, so I thought I'd stay out of his way. So we haven't really done much recording, mainly because it's a bit boring. What we've managed to do is we've got the inlet manifold back on and we've been connecting up all of the looms. So this is the last one to do on the engine loom, I think. The fan switch is now in. The water temperature is now done. Done another couple of earths and we've shortened, taken the connector out of the there was a couple of plugs which are actually part of the charge harness, so we've taken them out. Inside it's looking pretty good, so I've got the switches off the dash and plugged in the rest of the plugs that we had spare, so it's pretty good. We need a main relay which we're going to borrow from Carl, so we can borrow his to try and start it, because I think we're on track actually to start it on Monday, which is quite exciting. Yeah, we just need to tap in the cables for the fuel pump and the level sensor, get some petrol in it, get some oil in it, put the radiator on and get some water in it, and hopefully we're ready to go. I don't think we're going to rush into doing it too quickly. We need to go around and have a bit of a check of everything, and then we're pretty much there, I think. Hopefully Monday will be the start day. What do you reckon?
Let's hope so.
We really need it to be, because we've got an exhaust next weekend, and then we've got one more weekend to tidy everything up before Honda Fest on the 21st.
Had a pretty good day actually. We've managed to get quite a bit of stuff done. Mostly wiring, to be honest with you, which is really boring, so we haven't done much filming because to explain what we've had to do would just be a complete nightmare. So the basics are, we've got an ED7 loom, we've got a K20 loom, we've got the conversion harness, but the ED7 loom is from a 90 or 91 car, so there are quite a few differences from the 89 to 91. So we've had to make a few amendments, chop a few bits and pieces, make it work, and just generally just sort of figure out what goes where and how to go about it. So we picked up some wiring from the scrappy earlier. We've managed to get our sender unit back into the tank. The level sensor is also in. This bit off of our old tank, we've managed to kind of salvage one of the brackets on its snap, so I think we're just going to cable tie it to here. Not entirely sure what it does. I think it's a breather of some description. And what I've been up to is just adding some wires down here. The knock sensor, the alternator and the starter motor were all previously part of the charge harness, but we've now made them part of the engine harness. So our charge harness is actually going to, well, our battery's behind the seat, so we've got to make an entirely new charge harness. So that charge harness will run from here, the starter motor, down, out, down the wings, back to behind the driver's seat. And all of these wires have been added, so this is a fan switch. So that's a plug that we got from the scrappy earlier, and that will sit in here in the radiator, and also this temperature sensor in the top of the coolant neck here, and that gives our clocks a reading from the engine, obviously. So a few little bits and pieces done. Spent about an hour at Euro Car Parts, as you tend to do when you go on a Saturday, because they are staffed by absolute morons. Back tomorrow, and obviously Monday to finish things off. We're hoping to get it started. Still yet to, our drill broke earlier, so I was going to mount the battery here, but the drill bit got stuck in the drill, so that set us back. So I must remember to bring my drill tomorrow. We'll be back again tomorrow. See you then. What's up guys, it's now Sunday. We're back at the workshop and we've been here for probably about half an hour or so now. Dan is just messing about with the headlight wiring on the passenger side. Essentially what we're doing is we're just wiring up so that we can test everything with the battery. Just test we've got power to the headlights, power to everything we need power to, essentially. While he was doing that, I've got the battery in, so I've got an Odyssey battery that's now mounted behind the driver's seat, so there's loads of room even with the seat. Obviously we're going to have bucket seats, but even with that all the way back we've still got plenty of room behind there. And the idea is that the wiring is going to run, there we go, we've got the wiring here, so the wiring is going to run to the battery there, down this side, out the wing, down and into the starter motor down here. Then obviously we're going to have another one going into the fuse box and then into the alternator. So all of the engine bay wiring is pretty much done, I think. Well, it is done actually. So we've run sensor for this, a sensor for our fan switch, and now we're ready just to plug it all in, fill it up with oil, and hope it works. Hope it turns over, and hope we've got power to everything we need power to. So we're going to crack on with that, and then hopefully one of the next videos you'll see is it firing up. We haven't got a main relay because the guy who sold us the harness didn't include that. He didn't include the tank wiring, so that's really handy.
So we bodged that.
So we've had to splice some off an EK into ours. I think we're going to get the tank in at some point today as well, so you can see that there.
So I think we've sorted out this headlight wiring. Just looked it through now. We're going to have to pull it back out, so we're going to test it. We need to pull it back out to wrap it. Rob's just sticking some oil in it. We're only putting some shit stuff in it for the moment, just to get it. Obviously the engine's been sitting there for quite a while, not being used, so putting some stuff in it for a couple of 100 miles, 300 miles.
It's not coming out anywhere, so that's a good
200 or
sign.
300 miles, and we're going to get rid of that, drain that out and put something better in. Not leaking, hopefully.
Oh, it's got a smaller sump on it though, hasn't it?
We don't really know how much oil to put in.
We're just about done here today. Dan's got to drop his sister somewhere, so we have done quite a bit actually. We've got everything back in the bay, everything's tight that we know of. I've gone over, got the exhaust manifold put back on properly, the throttle cable's in, all the coolant pipes and everything under here are all back on. The fuel lines are back where they need to be with the fuel rail bolted back on, and a little separator there, so that's all good. The throttle cable is in obviously this end, and all this wiring is now complete. It's obviously messy at the moment, so we'll sort that out once we know it works essentially. So tomorrow is the day where we are going to try and fire it up. We'll join you again tomorrow when hopefully we're going to be starting the car, and then everything can go back together properly. So it kind of all hinges on tomorrow, so fingers crossed, and we'll see you then. This is Carl. He's helped us out. We've now figured out, I think, pretty much everything we need to know actually, and this is his car. The man and the car. So that'll be pretty cool when it's done. We're missing